Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of The Rock Experience with Mike Brund. On this episode, Vincent LaRusso and I are going to discuss the announcement of the newest KISS box set for KISS Alive. We'll talk about the contents, what they said is going to be on it, and more importantly, maybe what's not going to be on it. We'll give our thoughts and opinions on this, and we look forward to seeing and reading your thoughts and opinions as well. We'll also discuss the announcement of Eric Singer joining the band in Vegas next week for their KISS Cruise Landlocked event. All right, lots to cover in this episode. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So let's jump in and let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of The Rock Experience with Mike Brund. Today, I'm back with my buddy.
Back.
Yes, he's in the New York groove. Look at
I
that. He's
am.
still singing after 2 nights in a row of performances. How you
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
today, bloody?
I'm good. So if I sound a little froggy, that's the reason why.
Between Friday night and Saturday night, how many songs did you sing? Do you know?
About 50.
Oh, is that it? Only 50? Okay.
And some of those were Gene songs. Oh yeah. I'm doing that,
Yeah,
so
uh-huh.
yeah.
As a singer, is like you obviously covering a whole bunch of different things. Is there any singer's voice that's hardest for you? I know one night was a Kiss show, another night was just, I'll say, 70s, 80s, and 90s covers, right? So
I would say Steve Perry's one. I would do a
yeah,
couple of Journey songs.
I can understand that.
Those are tough.
I can understand it.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest.
Hmm.
There's we started doing the Stairway to Heaven. So that whole end part,
Mm-hmm.
the Robert Plant, that's a tough one to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
But yeah, do
Well,
your
so if his
best.
voice sounds a little froggy today,
Yeah,
that is why, because
character.
he was giving the songs to the people.
Yeah. People.
Uh,
Ah, hey.
very good. Very good. Well, speaking of froggy voices, then let's talk a little. There's a few different Kiss topics to cover here, right? We've been
Hmm.
doing a lot of Kiss conversations lately. I feel like for a band who's quote unquote retired, there's sure as hell been a lot of things to discuss in recent months, right? So again, for me as a fan, that's a little bit exciting that even though the
Hmm.
band has, I guess you could say, retired, there's still lots of new product and lots of things going on. And we've done couple of episodes on the Just to Kill box set, both when it was announced and when it was released. And then right on the heels of that is the Kiss Alive box set coming just a few mere weeks later. So before we even talk a little bit about the announcement and what's on it and what's not on it, what are your thoughts of back-to-back box sets like this?
I mean, I think normally I'd be like, I need to digest.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I understand why they did this. And listen, fact of the matter is, give me as much as you got. You know what I
Right.
mean? Especially stuff you've never heard. I'm never gonna say like, you know, I'm not in the mood. I'm not ready yet.
Right.
It's just like it's actually feel like we're being spoiled, especially with the amount of content
Yeah.
from the first box set, the Dress to Kill one, and now this one coming up. So I'm thoroughly throwed,
Thoroughly
thoroughly,
though. Is it 10
thoroughly thawed.
toes? 10 toes?
I actually grew 11 toes
You
just
grew an
based on
11
this. Yeah, it's like
toes.
I woke up this morning. It's like, what's the thing on the side of my foot?
Little nub sticking out.
That happened. Now I
Oh,
gotta go
man.
buy special socks and special
Oh,
shoes.
yeah. You should get the socks that have like the way your toes could go inside
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
no, to me, one of the things I like with the box sets going back to back like this is, for decades we've heard how Kiss Alive, there was 5 shows recorded for this. And each box set only has a handful of the shows. So you're not putting all 5 shows on one box set. And I think if there was a large gap, I'd be sitting here saying, but what about the other ones? What about the other ones? What now? I don't have to sit around and wait like this. Like I just killed box dropped, bang, 2 weeks later, announcement for Kiss Alive. So 5 shows in total were recorded. 2 were on the Just to Kill box, and now the other 3 will appear in some format, and we'll talk about that now, on this Alive box set. Have you looked at the track listing for this box set, for the Kiss Alive set?
Very, very briefly. Very
Okay.
briefly.
All right. So on the Just to Kill set was the Detroit show and the afternoon show in Davenport. On the Alive set is the evening show in Davenport, Wildwood, and Cleveland, which is the other 3 shows that were recorded for Kiss Alive. So now we have all 5 shows being released. However, and this is the part that's a little disappointing to me with this announcement. I'll start with the most glaring one. Cleveland is only 4 songs and 2 to solos, Ace's solo and Peter's solo. The rest of the show on this box set is MIA. And then as you dig through the set list for Davenport and for Wildwood, this is very odd to me. Both shows are missing Rock and Roll All Night. And I was like, that's like odd to me. So actually, even though they've released the other 3 shows on the Alive set, on the Alive box set, not a single one of those 3 shows are complete. So now you, as somebody who hadn't maybe digested the set list the way I did, what are your thoughts on that?
I want to know why.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Is it possibly tapes are missing? You know,
Well, let's start with the easier part first. Davenport and Wildwood both missing Rock and Roll All Night. It can't be that both shows are missing Rock and Roll All Night on the tapes. That just seems. And as you remember, in '75, they weren't closing with Rock and Roll All Night. So you're going to tell me a song is missing in the middle of the tape? I find, and then same exact song, I find that hard to believe.
So what's your theory then on this?
But that, I don't have a theory. You know, God knows that KISS is more than willing to release 97 versions of Rock and Roll All Night on every single thing that they put out. So it really makes absolutely no sense to me that that song is missing. It's actually not represented on the box at all, except for the Kiss Alive proper album. Just bizarre to me. A little bit of a bizarre thing. Maybe they're trying to fit the shows onto one CD and the 2 vinyl, and they had to cut one song, and they figured since we've released 8,000 versions of Rock and Roll All Night over the years, fans won't be upset about missing this one. I don't know. It's just, but to me, when you're spending $300 to $400 on a box, you know, whether you're buying the CDs or the vinyl, I want the full shows. I don't want one song missing from, even though it's a song we've heard 10 million times. It kind of nags at me. That was the first thing as I'm looking down the set list. I'm like, oh, Rock and Roll All Night's missing. Oh, Rock and Roll All Night's missing again. I don't know. That nagged at me a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we're purists.
Right.
We want the whole thing. We don't want to be missing anything.
Yeah.
Especially when you're listening to something, you want to hear it in its totality. You know?
Yes,
So
yes. Well, think about when we spoke about the Just to Kill box and we were talking about all the demos, and we were like, oh man, how many other recordings are out there still from these sessions that weren't released? We want it all, right? That's probably not realistic. But to want the full show when you're putting out a box set with the original recordings, I don't think is unrealistic. And it's just weird to cut one song from each show, especially the signature song, Rock and Roll All Night. That's just very weird to me. I mean, if they had to cut one song, better that than Parasite or Nothing to Lose, you know, songs that aren't released as, you know, frequently in live versions, but still was nagging at me a little bit, a little disappointment to me.
I can see that.
But then Cleveland is freaking butchered. It's like literally, I don't know if you have the track list in front of you, but it's like four songs in the middle of the show. Like I said, it's like, I think it's from like She to like 100,000 Years, basically.
Yeah. Let's see if I can see that now.
Yeah. And this is one, as you're looking it up, I've heard different opinions. The first one to me makes no sense at all. The second one is possible, but do you have the set list up there yet?
Bringing it up right now.
All right.
It's official store. One of them is already sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure one of the packages.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I have it. They got the remaster. Then they got the Davenport.
Right.
Second show.
Yep. That's the evening show. Then you got Wildwood.
See that?
Yeah. And then,
and bonus live, they're calling it.
right. Right. So skip past the rehearsals for a moment. And I
Yeah.
think Cleveland is the second part of that disc, right? And does it start with
Yes.
She, if I remember right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it goes She, then Ace's solo, and then a couple of songs and 100,000 Years in Peter's solo, right?
Absolutely.
So it's clear that the first half of the show is missing and the last quarter of the show is missing. And like I said, I've heard two different things. I've heard some speculation that they did use some of these recordings for the King Biscuit Flower Hour in 75, and that maybe Kiss didn't have the rights to release that. I don't buy that at all.
Hmm.
Because it's not like the only songs missing from the release is what was on King Biscuit. So that makes no sense to me at all. I've also heard that potentially some of the tapes were damaged, and that's why they only released whatever they could salvage. I guess that's certainly possible, especially when you see it's the first half of the show missing and then the last quarter of the show missing. Maybe those parts of the tapes were damaged. If it is, that's so disappointing. Um, but I feel like something else might be up here. I don't know why. I just feel like there's something else. I know Eddie Kramer is going to be at the Kiss Vegas event next week. So it would be nice to
They're
hear.
Universal Music Group, right?
Yes.
Because there was in 2008 there was a fire, right?
Yes. Yep.
And it says how they replace 150,000 of song masters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Look,
it
it's
destroyed
certainly possible.
118,000 to 175,000 audio. Wow, God,
Yeah.
that is fucking brutal.
Sad and
I mean,
brutal.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if Kiss is on this list. I'm gonna look right now.
Because you kiss is
No Kiss.
on the list.
Because you Kiss, but Weezer is.
Oh,
Um,
really? Oh, that's sad.
I don't see Kiss as part of that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a huge list according to Time Magazine,
Yeah.
and Kiss is not one of them.
Yeah. It's just that the
Rule
whole,
that out.
yeah. So it strikes me odd that it's only a partial show. So you get in three shows on this box set, right? You get in Davenport, Wildwood, and Cleveland, but not a single one of those shows are complete. So it kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth here overall. I'm assuming based on your comments before, you kind of, it seems like you feel the same way there. Like,
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about the rehearsals, right? So the first part of that bonus CD at the end is 5-song rehearsal. Right? And the song that jumps off the page instantly is Strange Ways. To finally get a live recording of sorts, I know it's not in front of a crowd, but a live recording of Strange Ways to me. So I said the negative about songs missing, but God, to hear that's going to be the very first thing. The second this is released, the very first thing I'm going to do is write to Strange Ways. Let me hear that. Looking at those 5 songs in the rehearsals, what is your throw level for something like that?
Well, first of all, it says Kiss Jam to start. What is that?
Yeah.
That's that could be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you got room service.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is a high throw level.
Yeah.
I mean, Watching You Too is one of my favorites. So Rock Bottom, alternate version of that. So I'd be curious, like during the rehearsals, hopefully it's like hearing the banter, the Tony banter, talking throughout. Hopefully to some of that, which kind of be cool.
Yes, it would be nice if this rehearsal, let's say, if it was a half hour, and it's a sound check, really, it's not a rehearsal, but if the sound check was a half hour, it would be nice if it was completely uncut.
Yeah.
And not fade out, fade back in, so that you could hear some of that Tony Bantha, like you were just saying in between. Yeah. That would make the price of this box set worth it, just alone to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. I remember hearing rumors a number of years back, that on the You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best album that came out in 96, the version of Room Service, which says it's from Davenport, which is where this sound check is from, but that recording was an instrumental only, and that's why Paul had to record vocals over it in 96. So now if these rehearsals or the sound check is the 5 songs and it's all instrumental and there's no vocals on Strange Ways and there's no vocals on any other songs, does that dampen your enthusiasm for this at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
I want to hear the vocal on that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's not. I look, they could have done Room Service twice in the sound check. Oh, my source could have been wrong from 15, 20 years ago when I heard this, right? But yeah, I'm hoping that these are not instrumental versions, because then I'm getting 3 incomplete shows. I'm getting a rehearsal, which will be really damn cool. But if it's instrumental, it kind of takes some of the shine off of it. I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that Kiss Jam thing kind of jumped out at me also. I'm like, ah, geez, is that going to be 45 seconds? Is that going to be 10 minutes? What is that going to be? Is it going to be them trying to work up a new song that they're working on that maybe they didn't do? Or is it just like kind of noodling around? That has a lot of potential to me, but we know nothing more about it at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. I thought of this. So the box set as a whole is 4 CDs only, which is 1 CD less than like the Just Kill box set that just came out, right? So same price, but a little less product. How would have you felt? I don't even know if what I'm about to say exists, and I've never heard that it exists. But because we know that this was Kiss Alive, because we know that they've been very open about doing overdub sessions to get this album just right, what if they had included some of the studio outtakes from those overdub sessions on this? Would that be something that interested you to kind of hear them in the studio trying to rework a guitar part or a vocal part or something like that that ended up on Alive?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be figuring, and this is just total guesswork. These were recorded on 16 track, right?
Yeah, don't
I
know,
mean, I'm
but
just thinking about the technology at the time, and
you would know those
uh,
kind of things better than me.
yeah, I'm going to figure it was a 16 track mobile studio. So if you just do the math on some of these things, on what occupies drums, a lot of times you would mix drums down to 2 tracks to make more tracks, or you would have kick, snare, overheads, some of the toms that might take up 4, 5, 6. Then you have your bass track, you have your guitars and leads and back and vocals. So that kind of fits nicely into a 16 track as opposed to 8. You got to cram it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So my reason by saying this is that typically if you're going to do an alternate track or something, you might do it on another track, not on the same track. Like when an artist is doing a track, they were overdubbing, or they were doing it and they were being punched in on that same track.
Right.
Or, as I know, because I've seen on other multi-tracks, where they would have to just set up another track for an alternate take of that vocal that exists. So I think it's possible that could exist. But
it makes sense the way you're saying it, right? Because they could have even on the final version gone between the two different vocals. Then it's punching over here, punching over there.
Yeah.
But you're saying they would have the whole vocal on a track, theoretically speaking.
Yeah.
To me, that would have been cool to hear. That since they're peeling back the curtain here a lot, and they're showing that, hey, these recordings aren't exactly what was performed on those given nights in Davenport, Wildwood, Cleveland, Detroit. It would have been cool to me to hear some of those studio outtakes. Especially since to me there is a little bit more room on this. They could have put another CD in here easily. They could have put, if they're not going to put the full had they done these, I'll call them overdub sessions on here, it would have made up for the fact to me that Cleveland's a half show or a quarter show and Wildwood and Davenport's missing a song. I just looked at this and there was such excitement for me for the Dress to Kill set. And then I was really excited about the Alive set also. And once I saw the track list, I'm like, a slight little bad taste in my mouth. And I was really excited about this. But we'll see. Maybe those sound checks will be so friggin' amazing. And I won't care that Rock and Roll All Night's missing from Davenport.
I mean, I'm going to play the other side of this. 10 years ago, plus years ago, would you even think a product like this would even come out that you would get all this up? So, I mean, we're getting more than we ever. And, they're not giving you one bonus disc of one show. They're giving you multiple, so. But, yeah, when you see something, we want it in its completion. We want it in its entirety. So I get that. And, But, I got to figure there's got to be a good reason why they didn't include the Rock and Roll Night thing. That just I don't understand.
It's bizarre. It's really odd.
How bizarre.
How bizarre. Hey, baby. And I'm gonna guess, like I said before, some of these songs were on the King Biscuit Flower Hour. There's a little bit of discussion. Did all 5 songs on King Biscuit come from Cleveland or not? But I'm going to guarantee you somebody's going to take the official release right now of the 4 songs and the 2 solos from Cleveland, and they're going to take the King Biscuit and they're going to put it together and make almost one complete show. So I'm sure we'll be able to find that, no matter what. But I do believe the Cleveland show that they performed let me know that. And it would be nice to have another live recording of that, officially. So, but you said it really well. I mean, look, if I was to rewind even 3 months ago, and when I knew that we were going to be getting the original recordings from Cobo, both shows from Davenport, from Wildwood, and from Cleveland. And if you told me, yeah, but there's going to be like 7 or 8 songs missing in total, I'd be like, so what? Who cares? Give it to me. I want to hear all of this stuff, right? So it's I don't want to lose sight of that because you're definitely spot on, man. It's really cool. It's interesting. They released a single from the Alive box. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it yet. It's the live version of "Come On and Love Me" from Davenport. I'm assuming you, with all your
No, I
gigs
did.
you've been playing, right? So,
Yeah.
if you remember on the Just Kill box set, Davenport, Paul sounded a little, I don't want to say under the weather, but his voice wasn't as strong as maybe it normally is. He sounded a little bit froggy or whatever you want to say it was. He definitely sounded a little bit off in the evening show as well. I was surprised they chose a Paul song from Davenport to release as a single. So it just makes me wonder also if the soundtrack, the rehearsals, if there are vocals on it, how much is Paul going to be pushing it during the afternoon in a sound check? I guess
Fair
time will
point.
tell on that. So, but
Yeah.
look, I'm saying this, and maybe some of this sounds a little bit negative on my side. The day this is released, which I think is November 21st, if I remember right, the first thing I do when I get up, play, and I'm going to be listening to it
Absolutely.
instantly. And I've
Yeah.
listened to the Dress to Kill shows probably at least a half a dozen to a dozen times each of those live shows already in the first 2 weeks. So I'm quite sure I'm going to do the same with this. And to your point, total throwing that all of these recordings are finally coming out after 50 years. I just wish it was 100% complete because that's just the way I am. I'm completist with this, but yeah, I guess time will tell. We just got all these song references going on today. Before I jump to one or two other KISS topics here, anything else for you to think about, talk about with KISS Alive box set?
Well, it's interesting, and as part of the packaging, which of course they did a great job. You can see all the stuff they're including. They're including like the banner, or it looks like, I don't know if it's a sticker. Like, do those guys get any money for that? I mean, they created this thing that the
It's
KISS
funny
are
you
using.
said that. I thought that also.
Like, that's interesting.
That's a good question.
I'd be like, listen, you're making money off of something we created. I mean, look, I'm sure Forever Be Grateful, they were on the back cover of one of the most iconic albums ever. But just an interesting thing. I thought I was like, did they buy the rights to that for some reason? Like,
they may have. Who knows? That's a great question. I'm sure if the tables would turn, Gene wouldn't be like, well, it's cool that I'm on a back cover of an album. He'd be like, all right, give me the money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great question. Yeah, and there's a lot of extras in this box, as there always is, and as there always was with KISS albums in the 70s, right? There was stickers and love guns and things of that nature. KISS is known for putting stuff in their records, so they just take it to the nth degree now with these box sets. But what are your thoughts as you look at all of that extra stuff in the box?
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I mean, the interesting thing is that what is sold out is the 50th anniversary deluxe picture disc, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it comes with a sweatshirt.
Okay.
But the other one comes with a t-shirt, and the sweatshirt actually looks nicer than.
Oh, does it really?
It looks nice, but the sweatshirt you can't get in the more expensive box sets. Yeah.
Interesting.
But you get a lot less stuff in the anniversary picture disc, which it looks like here. So.
Yeah, I know that's a complaint KISS fans always have, is that they're forced to get a t-shirt with these box sets and they don't want to have that option. Or some people say, if you're going to force me to get a t-shirt, let me choose. Don't ram down my throat the exact one. Especially some people are buying multiple. They're buying the CD, they're buying the vinyl, and then they get the exact same t-shirt in both of them. So, but whatever. I almost see the t-shirt as a throw-in as opposed to you're paying for that also. I know once it drops on Amazon, it's usually cheaper, but that's just the way I see it. Yeah.
You can buy the sweatshirt though if you buy the other one. Okay. It's $80 for the sweatshirt. And the difference between the sweatshirt and the t-shirt is $35, which you could buy a hose.
You can buy a hose for that money. Absolutely. Oh man, people who watch the show only occasionally have no idea why we say that, but that's okay. They'll have to go back and watch the last 330 episodes to figure it out.
It's more difficult than figuring out the Da Vinci Code. That's for sure.
That's true. That's for sure. Oh man. All right. Anything else on this Alive set? Because I do have one or two other things I wanted to bring up.
What's the drop date on this again?
I think it's November 21st. You can double check me. You have it up on your screen over there, but I think it's November 21st.
Okay.
So in other words, it's less than 2 weeks away at this point.
21st, you're right.
Yeah. I thought I had that date stuck in my head. So less than 2 weeks from now, this will be released. And I'm sure we'll discuss the contents and after a few listenings as well there. So
yeah.
So Well, we've done a lot of KISS episodes recently, and coming up in less than a week, I'm going to be in Vegas. And it's kind of crazy to think about that KISS will be performing again in less than a week. And
Mm,
there's probably, with all the KISS stuff going on, there's not that much discussion about the fact that KISS, after a 2-year hiatus, will be performing in some capacity next week in Vegas. And for the last, I guess, what, 6, 7 months, whatever it is, there's been a lot of talk of who's going to be the drummer. And as we found out late Friday afternoon, it's announced that Eric Singer is going to be in Vegas playing drums. So it's actually the full lineup that's been together for the last 20 years, um, back together again, no makeup, performing 2 shows in Vegas, one acoustic, one electric. Were you surprised when you saw Eric Singer was going to be there in Vegas?
at this stage of the game,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I would have thought. I mean, and we talked privately about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we may have talked about it on the show. You know, what's going on?
Right.
I mean, we didn't even hear anything. From him. So still, I want to know what happened. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad he's going to be there, but was this like contract negotiation? And I mean, even think about it for a second. You're a week away, and were you rehearsing with another drummer on these songs? I mean, you would think that Kiss they would want to get their gears in order. I know these are songs they
Mm-hmm.
played a zillion times, but still.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting. This would love to know, you know, what
Yeah.
what happened here.
What happened here? And my gut tells me when they do address it, it's going to be just with a vanilla type answer. I
Yeah,
don't think we'll
yeah.
get the actual. I could say this from before the event was even public knowledge, and I was in, meetings and in conversations with Pop House. From back then, it was clear to me that it was possible that all 4 members would not be there. Even before a public announcement ever came out.
Mm,
So some people have speculated that, oh, they knew this was going to be like this all along, and they just kind of did it to kind of ease into the fact that it was the full band. I don't believe that for a second.
yeah,
Not
yeah. I
not
don't
for
either.
1 second.
Yeah.
I think there was some kind of either a rift between Eric and somebody in the band, or there was most likely it was just a negotiation. I actually saw somebody make this speculation, which actually would make a lot of sense. Eric has been a drummer for hire for his entire career, playing with all different artists from Black Sabbath to Lita Ford to Alice Cooper to Kiss. Was he holding out hope to maybe land another drumming gig with a touring artist? And once he saw that that wasn't going to happen, then he committed to Kiss. I don't know this to be factual in any shape, matter, or form, but when I saw somebody
Mm,
make that comment, I'm like, that's an interesting one. I had never thought of. Could he have been waiting, and then October rolls around, he's like, I don't have a gig lined up. All right, yeah, I'll do the Kiss thing, but I wasn't going to
yeah,
give up a drumming gig with, let's say, Alice Cooper as an example. I'm not going to give up another gig with Alice Cooper because I have a one-off show with Kiss. It's an interesting thought.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
But the thing is, will we get an answer, a real answer?
I don't think so.
Even at the and I want to say cruise. They call them the Kiss Cruise. I don't quite understand that.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of confusing how they're
Hmm.
marketing that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I know it was saying Kiss Cruise on land,
Landlocked. Yeah.
landlocked,
Hmm.
but it's not a cruise.
No,
A
agreed.
cruise is on a boat and it's
Yes.
floating in water.
Yes. And the artwork even has a boat on it, which the artwork
Yeah,
looks great, but
it does. So I'm just very, very,
yeah.
very confused. But anyway, it's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a little weird, but I don't know. Did you see the video that they dropped also announcing
I
Eric?
saw I saw 2 videos. Yes, I did.
Oh,
Where
two. I only saw one video.
well, no, I should say because one was because it was the same time. They did
Okay.
one for Tommy's birthday.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. They did
Okay.
one for Tommy's birthday.
Okay.
Them singing. I don't think Eric was in that one,
Okay.
but clearly Gene and Paul were, and somebody has the cake for him, which was kind of fun.
Okay.
And
Yes.
then how Paul was kind of like blocking him, and
Uh-huh.
everybody's asking, "Where's Eric?" He's like right here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I thought that was actually
And
pretty
just
funny the way they did
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
And Eric's just like,
yeah,
doesn't even say a word, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's almost a little bit the way they're going to address it. They're not going to say a whole lot about it, I think. Just my
Yeah.
gut feeling.
I mean, honestly, they don't really have to.
No.
You have to say something more if he wasn't there at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
The fact he's gonna now. I mean, like I'm curious. I would love to know what
Hmm.
happened, but do they really need to address it if he's going to
No.
be there?
Right.
Not really. You know.
If I know Paul, he'll just make some like kind of quote unquote snide a funny remark that, and you guys thought Eric wasn't going to be here or something like that, and then that'll be it. They won't even address it beyond that,
Right.
you know. So
Right. Right.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. But I'm also curious to see what kind of performance. I think the acoustic show will be your standard, coming home and Plastic Caster and Going Blind and those, acoustic songs. It'll be interesting to see to me what they do with the electric show. They said Bruce is going to play with them at the show. Will some other, like, will Warren DeMartini jump on stage with them during the show? They say it's Kiss plus guests. So I guess a week from now, I'll have those answers. I'll know, because the
Yeah.
show will be Saturday night. But and we'll definitely jump on as soon as I'm back from Vegas to talk about that. So
Yeah.
lots to still cover. Last thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you were at this or not, but since we're recording today, it's Sunday, it's November 9th. Today is actually the 35th anniversary of Eric Carr's final show with Kiss.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there? Why
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
we together?
One of the many mysteries of life.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I remember I went with Jody and actually a coworker of hers. It was the three of
Was
us.
it
So
John or Jay?
I think it was Jay. That was my coworker. But so who did you go to that show with? Do you remember?
I was with my brother. I know that for
With your
sure.
brother. Oh, that
Yeah.
was nice. You and your brother went, and me and my wife went, and my girlfriend at the time. We didn't go together. That's
Yeah. It might have just been when we got the tickets.
maybe.
Sometimes, if you don't get the tickets all at once, you're
Hmm.
sitting there, I'm sitting over there,
Yep, absolutely.
So, but,
It's crazy to me to think that that was 35 years ago. And obviously, that evening, none of us had any idea that this was going to be Eric Carr's final show. And
mm,
I've actually, this morning when I woke up, I was listening to the recordings I have from Slaughter that night, who opened the show, then Winger, and I was up to the Kiss show when we started recording. And it just brought back so many memories of just such a great time in life. And then it's also just kind of sad, listening to Black Diamond and hearing Eric singing and being like, wow, almost a year later he was gone. It's just kind of
yeah.
crazy to kind of think back to that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
so I just wanted to mention that because it just seemed like, 35th anniversary of his final show. How could I at least not
Of
acknowledge
course.
that? And I think you and I were same in the 80s. Eric was our guy in
Yeah.
Kiss.
Yeah.
To me, he just seemed like one of us.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that all these decades later we didn't have more time to hear more music from him, etc. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up as well since we're recording on the anniversary day of that. So
Yeah.
anything else, whether it's Kiss Vegas, Kiss Alive, or anything other Kiss, or even non-Kiss, if you have something
Mm.
that you want to talk about.
No, I think we covered it all.
I think we
We
did
did it.
also.
Yeah.
So we're going to be back with another Kiss episode when I get back from Vegas, unless something else happens in the
Yeah.
next week. We'll be recording another Kiss related episode, a non-Kiss related episode. A lot more content coming up very
Very
soon.
excited.
We're
Very,
just
very
punching
excited.
things out here, left and right here. I
We
know
have
a
baggy
a
shells.
lot of podcasts like to do like a drop like every Monday or every Tuesday. The way we've been going now, we've been dropping 2, 3 episodes a week. So I'm glad I don't have a set schedule like that.
Yeah.
So, but to everybody watching and listening out there, let us know. What do you think of the live box set, the announcement of it? Are you upset that there's stuff missing? Does it not bother you? What are you most excited for? I'm assuming it's going to be the rehearsals. So let me ask you, what are you most excited for that's not the rehearsals? How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Like what I was saying, would you like to hear some of those overdub sessions, like I was saying? What are your thoughts of Eric joining them in Vegas? Lots of things we'd like to hear your opinions on. Of course, no answers are wrong. We always welcome everybody's thoughts and opinions. And I think that's a wrap for this episode.
That's a wrap.
So till next
Like
time,
Reynolds.
like Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, there you have it. Our thoughts and our opinions on the announcement of the newest KISS box set for KISS Alive, as well as our thoughts about Eric Singer joining the KISS Landlocked in Las Vegas event coming up next week. We look forward to seeing and reading all your thoughts and all your comments on both of those as well. As always, all opinions are welcome and there's no right or wrong answers. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brund, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.